Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ion Port. It is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Goyle Company Limited, and Serene Insurance. So Serene is always reminding you that if you're doing trade and you want the best insurance for trade, that's the best for you. That's Serene Insurance. The Business and Financial Times is a proud media partner of this program. So if you get a copy of the Thursday edition of the Business and Financial Times, you should read whatever transpires on this platform. In addition to that, they also bring you the schedules of the vessels that are bringing your cargo into this country. And so it's important that you continue to purchase your Business and Financial Times. And the CEO is always saying that she's there to give you top-notch news when it comes to business and finance within this country. Also tomorrow at 8:30 p.m., if you turn to GH1, you should watch an abridged version of this program. And on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m., you should be able to see the abridged version on Ghana Television. Those are the media platforms where you should watch almost everything that's going to, or that has been transpiring on this platform. Today, we're going to talk about a very important area when it comes to port industry. We're going to go all the way to the Volta region, and we're talking the port of KETA. There's a lot that you have heard about the port of KETA, some interesting, some funny, and we'll talk about all of that here. Some very, very controversial, and we'll deal with all of that here. We'll deal with the subject of the director who is in charge of that port, and that also has come with some controversy, so we'll deal with all of that here. Unfortunately, we have seated in the studio the director of the port of KETA. We'll be looking at the journey so far, what is there in the future. So the people of KETA, Notogbesri, and Yonam and Co are all seated and watching from the Volta region, from KETA in particular, and they want to know a lot about this. We'll also be talking about some of the governmental actions that have been taken when it comes to that particular infrastructure development that we are likely to see pretty shortly. We'll return shortly after the break. We'll let you know what's happening within the port and maritime industry briefly, and then we return to the subject of the day, the port of KETA, the journey so far.
Every now and again, Goyle makes good things happen. This time, Goyle has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goyle has that sorted. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
coronavirus yare no yare a esan pa so obinya bi na se opowa gu so anase obinti gu so a utumenya yare ni bi
okadi ni bahani onaka oyehila ekoji ohe banye do oba wulo ogo bahunu oba chine ojamba wohe oba na sen kaka mekme musunchon mekme nu ni anihe chitun oboni nke je mo femo ba chon okadi na eko.
Coronavirus infection, the symptoms can range from mild, one of it being asymptomatic. Asymptomatic just means that you may not have any symptoms at all, and the disease process can gradually worsen to be a severe form, the severest being ultimately death.
We are expected to sanitize our hands when our hands are not visibly soiled or you can't really see dirt on your hands. If you can see dirt on your hands, the best thing to do is to wash your hands with soap and the running water.
If you're using any of the cloth face masks, always make sure you have a rubber bag ready to receive it when you remove it, or you have a bowl of warm soapy water in which you can place the mask and wash. Wash your mask, dry in the hot sun for at least 5 hours, and apply heat by way of ironing.
Utiliser les ports de TEMA et de Takoradi, c'est avoir un traitement rapide et sécurisé de vos marchandises diverses en conteneurs, en sac ou en vrac, ainsi que tous vos véhicules en transit. Le Ghana a construit un parking bien pavé pour tous les véhicules en transit. Une nouvelle gare frigorifique pour le stockage de la marchandise congelée en transit. Avec un nouveau centre de traitement de données construit et la mise en œuvre efficace d'un guichet unique national qui permet aux données d'être accessibles par tous les intervenants, le traitement des dossiers dans les ports du Ghana est maintenant efficace et plus efficient. Utiliser les ports du Ghana, c'est profiter des systèmes de portes électroniques et d'exploitation des terminaux ainsi que de la réservation des navires en ligne, entraînant ainsi un parc de camions fiable pour un acheminement de vos marchandises dans les brefs délais avec un suivi satellitaire jusqu'à nos frontières.
Les femmes, à vous les honneurs.
Les ports de TEMA et de Takoradi célèbrent la femme. Que les bienfaits de cette célébration apportent plus de bénédictions.
Welcome back to the program Eye on Port, and this week the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, was at the fishing harbour. Quite a number of transactions, or interactions, I should put it, happened there, ensued over there. Let's take a listen and we'll be back.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has assured fisher folks at the TEMA fishing harbour that government will be constructing modern cold store facilities for them to aid in storage of their fishes under good hygienic conditions. Addressing fisher folks at the TEMA fishing harbour as part of his tour to TEMA, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, disclosed that government will also make available to the fisher folks some soft loans to support their businesses. He said government has instructed the 3 development authorities, Northern, Middle Belt, and Coastal Development Authorities, to set aside portions of their budgets to be given out as soft loans to fisher folks and traders. According to the Vice President, the premix distribution to fishermen have been significantly improved, which has ensured that there is no shortage of the product. Dr. Bawumia also indicated that government is constructing fishing landing sites across the coastal belt to improve the livelihoods of fisher folks as well as create jobs. The Deputy Minister of Transport and Member of Parliament for TEMA East, Daniel Titus Glover, assured the fisher folks that government will continue to support them in diverse ways to make their business flourish.
The West African branch of the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers has held its third annual general meeting in Ghana, which also coincides with the Professional Institute's 10-year anniversary since its formation. Founded in 1911, the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers is an internationally recognized professional body in the commercial maritime arena, and its membership includes shipbrokers, ship managers, and agents throughout the world. The Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers provides the shipping industry with highly qualified professionals by regularly examining its members and equip them with revised and advanced trends in the contemporary maritime and shipping landscape. The semi-virtual meeting was held to elect new executives, recount events of the past 12 months for the Institute, challenges encountered, successes chalked, as well as projections for the future. The meeting also was to allow for the assessment of the financial reports for the West African branch of the Institute. It was also an opportunity for some high-achieving members to be awarded for their accomplishments, contributions to the body, as well as the wider shipping and maritime industry. Fred Esiedu Date, a former chairman of the West Africa branch of the ICS and the head of freight and logistics for the Ghana Shippers Authority, said the ICS West Africa branch is working towards getting ministerial backing in efforts to eventually make ICS the entry requirement for practice in the maritime industry.
See that we have pushed to the point of getting ministerial commitment, to ensure that ICS eventually becomes the entry requirement into the maritime industry for all classes of persons who want to work in the industry. We are not there yet. It's still a work in progress.
He urged the membership to strive to attain excellence in their various subfields of work in the industry for growth and development.
I would also want to urge all members in whichever area we find ourselves to try and push the limits. Because if everybody is willing to go 100%, the fact that we are ICS members, we should push 150%.
The newly elected chairman of the West Africa branch of the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers said during his tenure of office, ICS would be more active in its collaborations in the shipping and maritime industry towards development in the sector.
Within the next year or two, we will do a lot more in training, collaborating with authorities across West Africa, like the shipping authorities, the port authorities, especially in Ghana and Nigeria. And we believe that we would make a long, a lasting impression and leave a legacy for the young ones to also emulate in future.
He encouraged the youth to join the Institute as it would enhance their know-how in their respective careers.
We encourage especially the young ones to be part of ICS. The Institute tries to bring more to the table through the training programs, the various training programs, and we are just rolling out a shipping education program, which is will be a basic education program for all those who are now in the shipping industry.
Okay, so congratulations to Frank Shen and the team. They're doing wonderfully well with the ICS. He's a former president of the Borderless Alliance Ghana as well. Frank, remarkable guy and doing something remarkable with the ICS. My guest in the studio is Dr. Alexander Yao Eduse Jr. We're going to talk about the port of KETA, the much talked about port of KETA, and more or less one of the most popular person now in Ghana, Dr. Alexander Eduse. I'll tell you why. I'm sure Joe will put your pictures, some of your pictures on the screen right now, yes, because there are quite a number of pictures of you that's flying around social media. Some of them, if you see you now, you laugh. I don't know how you feel about it. Now, we'll talk about some of them, but Joe will put it up on the screen. There's some that they put you just by the signboard of the KETA, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority signpost at KETA. And then there are some too, they are carrying pots on their head and they say KETA pot. Oh. You are popular, you are popular. So we'll deal with all of that, find out why we got to that point and all of that. The discourse for this evening is looking at the journey so far when it comes to the port of KETA, and we know that quite a number of citizens of this country are interested in that particular project, from members of the legislature all the way down to regular citizens from the Volta region, regular citizens everywhere across the country, because if that area develops, all of us will have opportunities and the entire country will have opportunity. Along the line, we'll take your comments. So the number that you can send us your comments on, the WhatsApp number is 055-901-9177. That's the number. The number that you can phone us at the appropriate time when the phone lines are open is 020-552-8353. The numbers are going to be on your screen. So that's one of your pictures, Doc. See, on the screen. You see why I say you are popular. Now, I see this quite often on WhatsApp, the social media, Facebook, and all that. So the site for the KETA port, or the port of KETA, keep off. So that's supposed to be a Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority signpost that KETA there. Now they put, let's look at the other one.
Ooh,
have you seen this one before?
I think this one, somebody sent it to me and I had a good laugh about it.
KETA Port, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. We'll talk about this. So Joe can drop it off. Now, first of all, who are you?
Oh, that's a short but long question. Well,
because apart from your name, Dr. Alexander Yao Eduse Jr. Yes. Where's the junior coming from? Is it your dad?
My dad is Alexander Yao Eduse.
Okay.
He used to, but before I go through that, let me give shout outs to a few of my people who have been waiting to hear from me. Let me say good evening to my beautiful wife, Akosia Chiwabuatin. While she and the family are sitting in the house waiting to hear from me. In the meantime, the most important person in my life today is the president and his Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the vice president who gave me the opportunity to be here.
Serve your country.
Serve my country. It is not just by appointment, it's just by vision and aspiration to see the best for Volta region. Let me say good evening to my sector minister, Honorable Kweku Esiama, my Director General, Mr. Michael Lukuje, and his able lieutenants, Captain Afezi and Mrs. Sandra Opoku, and all the general managers.
In this case, your colleague, directors of ports.
Definitely, TEMA and Takrade, respectively. And also the hard-working members of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority employees and their unions. Without them, we will not be here.
Awesome.
And it's important we acknowledge them. But first, the most important people that I have to really say good evening to is Togbe Sri and Togbe Akoleche and all the people in Volta region who are watching us at this point in time. It's important. They also watch us, contribute, and give us the opportunity to come to their house this evening. And hopefully by the time you and I finish, we would have been able to address all the questions and issues that exist at the moment. Thank you.
Good. So
but who am I?
Back to who you are.
Who am I? I'm the last of 7 kids.
I see.
My father, from what I know, was a football enthusiast, great Ashantis. Okay. If anybody follows football very much, I understand he was the one who brought it into fruition. My mother is a former queen mother of Antwa. Both of them are demised.
Of Antwa?
Antwa, yes.
Where we have Antwanyam.
That's where the popular place.
The popular place.
And then, of course, I started kindergarten in a school. I'm giving shout out to all the people who went to school with me today.
Okay.
You can start from nowhere and become somebody sometime by the providence of God. Teacher Brinya, I did so somewhere.
Okay.
I ended up in Queen Elizabeth, somewhere in Asafo. Okay. Ended up at State Experimental School at Denyami.
Yeah.
Then happened to City of Kumasi.
Yeah.
From City of Kumasi, I went to I did my common entrance in a school that does not exist anymore. I think now it's like a sheep yard or something. Nawari Dean at Alaba. That's where I did my common entrance. Then I went to Tia Ahmadiyya.
Okay.
Wonderful institution.
Yeah.
I actually will encourage everybody to go to Tia Amas.
Amas?
Yes, Amas phobia. Then from there I went to Sechuchi Secondary School.
Okay. A-levels.
A-levels from there. And then I went to Legon.
Okay.
Where everybody assumed those days that you enter Legon and they give you one of those religions, history, philosophy, you are doomed for life. But through God's help, I wasn't doomed.
Okay.
Luckily, I did my national service and I left the country.
You weren't doomed, but what did you read though?
History,
humanities,
religions,
okay.
Philosophy.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Philosophy is awesome.
Awesome. From there, I went to United States, went to The Ohio State University, did my master's degree, did my PhD there. Started working taught a little bit there, started working for State of Ohio. And then I got a little bit bored, so I went to law school.
Okay.
I finished law. I had my own law practice on the side. And then subsequently I came to Ghana.
States?
In the States. Then I came to Ghana, I did a Ghana bar, and I got licensed in Ghana too.
Okay.
So I did a few things with a few colleagues in Ghana. Okay. And I went back.
Okay.
And then hopefully, by God's grace and God's own path, I ended up coming to Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to work with the wonderful people within the maritime industry.
And how did you land in the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority as what?
Well, I came in as within the corporate body as a director of port. And it's a title given to my position to allow me the opportunity to negotiate on behalf of the authority under the guidance of the Director General, and to ensure that the vision of this government of building a new port in KETA comes to fruition. So the title is meant to give you the opportunity and the level playing field where you can negotiate on behalf of Ghana Ports Authority and bring the development to fruition. That's all it takes.
Okay, so ordinarily somebody would be employed in the port as say a public relations officer, an accounts officer, a finance officer. You were employed in as what?
Well, I'm an official of Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, except that the position that I occupy is to lead the team to develop KETA Port.
Okay, but you were employed in as a director of the port of
KETA. Now, let me explain that a little bit, because I think that has created a lot of confusion.
It has.
Once the president in his infinite wisdom signed the executive instrument and designated a specific spot as a location where we have the signboard post as port of KETA,
yeah,
the port came into existence.
Without physical structures.
You don't need physical structures.
Without berths and all of that?
All that. The port by law came into existence. So the
once
port
it's
is
designated.
Once it's designated, signed, executive instrument signed.
Is that how we see other areas that have been designated as
it's best practices.
Port infrastructures?
Anywhere. Buankra was designated as a port. There's a director in charge of it, developing it. So it is not a matter of you have to have physical infrastructure before you appoint a director. Okay. In fact, you need a director to start the whole thinking process to bring that port into fruition. Because the director with his team or her team will be able to develop what exactly is perfect for the area designated.
We're going to delve into that in detail pretty shortly, because that side I have quite a number of questions to ask. One, I would love to know the legalities when it comes to all of that. I would love to know if there are some practices already within the environment that we operate that sets or serves as precedents for which this was taken, whether or not there's any precedents, or if there isn't, if you are the first, what's the justification for it? We'll deal with that area. No, but so you were employed as director for the port of KETA, the Volta region, right?
Yes.
How close are you with the Volta region? Have you been there before?
Well, I've been there several times.
Recently or back in the day when you...
yesterday I was in Volta region.
I see.
Yesterday I was
in Volta region. You went to the KETA port or what?
I went to a funeral.
Okay.
I have friends from KETA. Prior to that, the closest probably you say I had been would have been Anyako, where I have
Anyako?
been. Anyako, yes.
Oh, Sedinam is from there. Do you know Sedinam? You don't know Sedinam?
I don't know Sedinam.
Okay,
I'll get to know Sedinam. Okay. Well, I have my Enyonam though, but I'm not going to tell you where. But I have been to Anyako.
Okay.
I have been in relations with the Fiabijis from Koforidia who are from Anyako, and I've been to the place several times.
Okay.
I've had opportunity. My friends from Legon, a lot of them are from that environment.
I see.
My friends I made in my years coming back to Ghana in the police service. Invariably, almost all of them Voltarians, and majority of them are from that area. So I am very acquainted with the place very well.
Apart from,
I don't speak the language though, but trust me, I'm picking it up. I'm gonna be perfect on it very soon.
Okay,
Yeah,
but your ABC here and there.
My ABC here and there, yes, I can pick up a few things. You know, I can pick up a few things.
So how often, in the first place, where's your office? Where do you work?
My office?
Are you at the KETA or you?
It's both. I have an office in TEMA, and I'm expected to have an office in KETA, which is in progress. Now, we have to have an office in KETA for development to be able to move forward. So yes, I'm going to have an office there.
But for now, though, you don't have an office.
Right now, I'm operating from headquarters.
So how do you connect with the folks back in KETA? How do you connect with day-to-day, regularly? How do you connect with the people of KETA?
I go there because we have a lighthouse there. We have a facility there that I can
Okay, you have a lodge at the lighthouse.
That we use. And I can also go anytime I'm needed. And most of the time, the chiefs and stakeholders in KETA come to the office, and we engage them that way.
So how frequent do you visit that place?
As frequent as is necessary. I've been there. I've had a lot of interaction with the MCE, who is a representative of the president in the area, and I've also had engagements with Togbesiri himself and Togbe Akwalache to ensure that whatever we need to do to pave the way for the port development to move forward, we've done it.
Okay, and in this case, who is Togbesiri and who is Togbe Akwalache?
Togbesiri is the overlord.
Okay.
The
Womefia
himself. Yeah. And Togbe Akwalache is the Dufia of Kezi, exactly the location that we've designated for the port.
For the port.
Yes.
So my thing is, how frequent do you get in touch with the people of KETA, though? Do you go there often? Because there was a footage of yours the last time we showed here. You were the Hogbe Chocho, is it?
Yes.
So how frequent do you get there?
Let's put it this way. Any major function that require my presence, whether invited or not,
You're there.
Since I've made friends within our culture setting, definitely the things that will draw you to the location will be the normal weddings, naming ceremonies, and probably funerals. That one too, you need to be there. Outside that, our feasibility study is going to show me my presence more than necessary. Why? Because my consultants will be on the grounds doing stakeholder engagements, and we will have the opportunity to do the community-to-community engagements and see all the major stakeholders in Volta region while we develop the port. So yes, we try our best.
Okay, so some messages are already coming in for you. Now, let me announce the WhatsApp number. I think it should be on your screens by now. The WhatsApp number is 0559019177. And I see quite a number of folks from KETA are sending messages. Phone number at the appropriate time when the phone lines are open, it should be 020-552-8353. That should also be on your screens. But Enyonam Adams Atiasa, she sends her regards. And your name is very fantastic. So as you frequent KETA, you meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of people. But what has been the reception? You said you don't speak the language fluently. So how do you interact?
Oh, in Ghana, where in our various, as many languages we speak, when you go to areas that you don't have the local dialect down, communication is in English. So that communication is not a problem at all. As to reception of the people, this government has said everybody should be a citizen, not a spectator. So obviously, I'm expecting people to ask questions, and they demand to have answers. And my role is to ensure that meaningful questions asked are appropriately answered. So we've had engagements, my visits that I've had opportunity to meet people who have asked questions. I've had people who have had challenges, not even believing that the port is ever going to be built. But Sami, let me share something with you. Building a port can never happen with a twinkle of an eye.
Yeah, not to rudely interject on that, because I'll come to that. Okay. I'll come to where did we come from with this whole port of KETA. Give us a background, and we're going to deal with that shortly. But I just saw a flash on the screens. I think Joe put it up there. The Hogbechocho footage that was on the screen shortly. When you go to such environment, what's the reception of the people, particularly as they are all hopeful to see such an infrastructure come to that
Yes,
place?
very much so. Why not? Because remember, this is this will be one of the most significant developments in Volta region and its environs once it comes into fruition. Every region is developing. Why not Volta region? I think Volta region has waited for its fair share of the national cake, and this is the time. And this government is willing to put that on the table and say, let's explore and let's make sure that it comes into fruition. So I think the people are anticipating, they are hopeful. I've had a lot of youth organizations coming to see me, and they'll be glad to have this project begin so that there will be industries. I think so that the brain drain from Volta region can stop, because people are moving from Volta region, coming to other regions to find jobs. Wouldn't it be nice for them to stay in their own region and knowing that there will be jobs for them to do? And that's exactly what this government is asking for, and that's exactly what we intend to provide.
So where did the vision to have this KETA port come from?
Well, you see, this is not something that happened during my time. I will never take the credit for it. I cannot take the credit for it. The idea of KETA port is not something that just fell on somebody's lap. The KETA port area has been a port since generations. There's even a Dutch fort there.
I see.
Fort Presenstein or something of that sort. And it's been abandoned, but maybe future it might find some health injected into it. But remember, prior to Takoradi Port and TEMA Port coming into being, we always had a sufferance ports, where the ports will come and anchor off shore and people will carry and
the loads
and all those things. For me,
we have some old footage.
As I said here, I call Takoradi Port the Gogisberg Port, meant to export raw materials without processing. And then they call the TEMA Port Independence Port, New Age Port, Euphorism Port. We are excited. We get independence, and therefore we put it up. Now, between the two ports, you are looking about 34 years before the second port came. If you are following that pattern, say the next 34 years, another port should have been developed. But ports are not developed in that sense. Ports are developed based on GDP, our economic indicators that tells us the population growth, how we are consuming, the dynamics of our livelihood, opportunities that you can provide for that various, the place you want to put aside the port. And in this particular sense, the port we are looking at in KETA is not trying to take anything away from Takoradi or TEMA, but creating its own market space that can serve the people in Volta region and its environs, and maybe beyond. Proximity to Togo, maybe we can say we are more competitive to the Togo economy than even maybe the Ghanaian ports. And also our brothers who are landlocked, can we also attract their business, which is passing through Togo to KETA. So there are a lot of clusters that GPHA and its infinite wisdom since 2014 upwards have been developing a concept of what is going to happen, even before I came into the fray.
Okay, so you have broken the ports that we have down, and you're saying that of Takoradi you would call it the Gogisberg port, and then that of TEMA you would call it the New Age port, and then that of KETA would be what?
Oh, I'll call it Ghana Beyond Aid. I'll call it Ghana Beyond Aid.
Why Ghana Beyond?
Because the vision of developing that port is to ensure that we are grounded on industries, right? We want to make sure that whatever that is going to come from our shores to the outside world is refined. It cannot be raw. So the clusters we are developing are industry oriented. That if we are going to pick oil, we have to do something to it. If we are going to pick gold, we are going to pick diamond, we want to pick salt, what are we going to do to it before it leaves? Are we looking at attracting future advanced technologies into Volta region? Yes. And I think if, God willing, we have the opportunity to advance what we have put on paper, which our consultants are looking at, I think we are going to make Volta region a place for everyone to come to.
So what then do you have on paper? what's supposed to be what we can identify with the port of KETA, as we identify the port of Takoradi with, back in the day, a lot of all these exports from mineral ores, from bauxite, manganese, and now oil and gas and all of that. And you identify the port of TEMA with the modernized, containerized kind of business. What would you identify the port of KETA with, or what plan do you have for it?
I will tell you this. The first thing that comes into mind will be agro-processing.
Agro-processing?
Agro-processing.
Why?
We have fertile crescent in Volta region.
Okay.
We have fertile crescent. Why shouldn't our farmers get value for money? Why can't we take the produce and process them, can them, and export, or even use in Ghana or neighboring countries? So agro-processing.
And do you have much of that being produced in the Volta region?
Oh, yes. And we have arable lands that are not being cultivated yet. We can get into that.
Around that area?
Around that area. So we need to also ensure that our subsistence farmers are now given opportunity to expand their farms. So they can develop their farms bigger than what they have right now and sell to whether co-ops or direct purchase so that it can be processed. So we don't send them out raw. 2, fishing. Now we are doing these landing sites, but we also see the KETA Basin or the Volta region per se, that fishing on the coast is important. And we are looking at ensuring that, like the harbors, the fishing harbors we have in Takoradi and TEMA, we can have a fishing processing plant in KETA Basin, so that artisanal fishermen or the pearl trawlers that can go to sea and bring fish are well processed.
But you already have the fish landing sites coming up there. Would you need to still utilize a port for that purpose?
Well, it is. Remember, I said we are doing clusters. So having pearl trawlers coming in, they cannot go to the landing sites because the boats that will be bringing those fish are bigger than what the landing sites can contain. Those are canoes that we are looking at with outboard motors. These are big steel ships that can bring fish in, and need to be processed. We don't want to just bring the fish and cold store them. We want to be able to bring the fish and be processed. So KETA can also have that opportunity to do that. We also know that there are a lot of tourism interest in that basin. When we talk about tourism in Ghana, the only place we look at is only Central region. The Volta region has something to showcase. For me, if you ask me, my major interest has always been Nogopo, because I've lived outside the country. I know how people come from abroad to trace their backgrounds, and they go to Benin, they go to Togo. And what about if we can lay down Nogopo very well for people to come pay, to engage, enjoy the drumming, enjoy the dancing, enjoy the traditions that we have. And then engage the priests we have there, if that's what they want. But at least we need to make money from that.
So like the way the Brazilians and the Portuguese, some of them visit the Benin, Voodoo.
Exactly. It's something that Volta region should be able to expand on. We have mountains. I mean, in at least 2 of them in that enclave. We have grottos that are unique, that can be.
But what would be the connection between these tourists or tourism opportunities and the port?
Cruise ship berth. Create a cruise ship berth. And if you bring a cruise ship berth, there's going to be a blowout of hotels. There's going to be, we are interested in creating a marina in the lagoon. We understand the Ramsey protections out there that we are working through it. But trust me, once you open the specialized berth for cruise, you have opened up the place.
Is that part of your plan for the
It's part of the clusters we are looking at. Remember, a delegation came from Barbados. We engaged them in conversation. For now, that is not there. We can try with TEMA, but it doesn't matter. We can go to TEMA, we can go to Takoradi, we can also come to KETA. But remember, KETA is a green field, which means it is going to be built purposely for cruise ships, where you will have people stepping out of the boat, going through immigration, going through customs, going to their hotels, and having opportunity to cross borders, even if they want to go to Togo, if they want to go to the interior, other regions to experience the opportunities Volta region has to provide, they could do so. So it also opens Volta region for further development. So the port does not sit in isolation. I see it as a port city, and it has extended developments that will come forward. But it takes time. All these things takes time. It takes careful planning, where we bring our minds together as people and decide the way we want to process ourselves.
What are some of the other clusters are you considering again? Because that area, quite recently, I think a week or two ago, we had Dr. Kamaldeen in the studio here, and we talked about some pirate attack that happened around that space there. What are you looking at security as well?
Yes.
What would be the input of, say, the Navy and all of that? Have you considered all of that as part of your plans?
We are in conversations with the Navy. In fact, our consultants have spoken to them. I personally, with the DG, have spoken to the Navy commander. Our interest is to ensure that, and we have always known Ghanaian waters are always safer. There's, ships going to our neighboring countries even anchor here till it's their time to go forward before they go. They like to anchor on our waters. So surely, being a border region, definitely once the port is in place, Navy is interested in coming. The security apparatus are also interested in coming because it is bordering in another country. And of course, that gives us the added advantage and protection that the ships, parading through our shorelines will be guaranteed that they can be protected against piracy, as we find in our seas in West Africa. But comparatively, you can be assured that Ghanaian waters are safer. We are having a few skirmishes around our borders, but we have been protected by our Navy and their patrols. And we think moving a port there, God willing, coming to fruition, will give us more protection in that sector of our waters and protect our shipping lines.
And what about dry bulk? Dry bulk cargo, for instance. Is there room to utilize that facility for dry bulk cargo? So you come to the port of TEMA, for instance. We have clinker from the cement companies, Gasem, Dangote, and the rest. Some time back, and I asked this because some time back we heard about Diamond Cement hoping to take advantage of that area for their processes and all of that. Do you have any consideration along this line?
We have not taken Diamond Cement out of the equation at all. Diamond Cement is still an integral part of what we are planning. Now, let me try and explain the Diamond Cement issue a little bit. Diamond Cement engaged GPHA some time back trying to develop a jetty to be able to bring bigger vessels with their clinker. Their interest is still at play. We could not move forward with what Diamond Cement had in mind, because all along what they had in mind was to have a private port controlled by them without recourse to the Ghanaian government. GPHA cannot do that. Our laws does not allow any individual to own a private port that GPHA does not have oversight. And I think that was the disconnect there. But right now we are trying to engage them to say that we will give you that space in the port cluster that we are developing. You can have your berth, you can bring your big ships, you can bring your clinker, and yes, you can bring your dry dock material in for your cement. So who knows? For all you know, the closer the port is to Togo, maybe Dangote will also have his own berth there, trying to develop his cement. We are open to anybody and everybody.
That's why I asked you, are you going to have a berth for bulk cargo, for instance, so that clinker and quite a number of other. But so then, have you been able to also identify some of the other minerals that can be gotten out of that region and probably processed and exported, like we've been able to identify with Takrade, with the bauxite and the manganese and all of that? Is there something like that when it comes to the Volta region?
The Volta Basin. I mean, now when you say Volta region, it's big.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I look at the Volta Basin, I don't look at only what we now identify as Volta region.
Okay, so there used to be the OT. I am actually talking about all of them put together.
All of them together. I call the Volta Basin.
They are separate.
If you talk about the Volta Basin, we know there's knowledge of oil being there. We know there's knowledge of iron ore being there. We know there's knowledge of copper being there. We know there's knowledge of lead being there. We know there's gold and diamonds. As to quantum, the government of Ghana might be able to share that with us, but it is documented that those things are there.
Yeah.
And we do believe that once you have a major port closer to that area, that people can get into it, those industries will spring up by themselves. And you have invested interest in that area, knowing for sure that once they come there, there are other antecedent projects or investments that they can get themselves into. Okay. So yes, there are other opportunities for Volta region.
Okay. So I'm going to get into particularly the state of this port project, the KETA port project, and where you are and all of that shortly. But I'll read so that I don't go away from some of the comments that have come. We're getting a lot of comments from KETA, Anglogai, and all of that. Now, Wisdom is sending this one from Anglogai. He says he wants to, that's why I want to take you back. Can the director of KETA Port share with us his job description or schedule upon his appointment? What was the expectation of the president on year-by-year basis? Whether the president had an expectation year-by-year basis, and maybe I will add and take opportunity to find out when were you appointed. I would need that clarity. I am enjoyed, and he goes on to say, I am enjoying the discussion on the KETA Port. Can the director of KETA Port again share his description to us? Okay. What is his work program for 2019 and 2020? He continues. And there are quite a number. I'll read all of them. Today is the KETA day, so. But let me, so based on Wisdoms.
When did I come? Okay, I came April 2019.
2019.
2019.
And we are in...
October
now.
Yes.
Okay, so we are like
probably
a year and a half.
Plus.
Okay.
You want to know my daily activities, what I do?
That's
my
what he
preoccupation. My number one preoccupation is to bring KETA Port into fruition. But I work for GPHA.
Okay.
And I work under a Director General.
Okay.
Who is responsible for my day-to-day activities.
Okay.
So, since arrival till date, we've been able to go through all the processes we needed to go through, approvals from PPA and the rest, to be able to secure a consultant. We have secured a consultant. Unfortunately, COVID came, but we did not let COVID stop us. We engaged our consultants, and consultants have engaged stakeholders who have facilities in their various departments to communicate through Microsoft Teams. So they've been engaging stakeholders, about 10 of them so far. We have about 25 or so more to go. And I think the last one I sat in was last week. They intend to come very soon. We believe once they hit the grounds, then it's easier to do the National House of Chiefs or Regional House of Chiefs and local stakeholders.
Okay, so let me take you back to Wisdom's question in it. Now, he personally, he wants to know you as a person. What do you do on day-to-day basis? So we'll probably come to what you do or what you have done with the KETA Port project. But on day-to-day basis, what have you been doing?
Day-to-day basis, I work for GPHA.
Okay. So at GPHA, what else do you do?
Well, I do almost everything. I'm an official of GPHA.
Okay.
I do anything the Director General asked me to do.
But
including sitting on committees, including helping develop policies or looking at documents, contracts, negotiations for GPHA, board directives that the organization needs to follow. I have been directed to go and look at. I go and follow through it, writing reports. Any issues we have, if any, with MPS, negotiations, I've been integrally involved.
So you are on the GPHA board as well?
Because yes, I'm also on
there was a release that we got from the Ports and Harbours Authority, and on that it says that yes, you are on the GPHA board and quite a number of things that you do, negotiating the MPS. Okay, so that's what the MPS contract, which you have mentioned, negotiations, quite a number of negotiations. Is that
yes,
what you are referring to?
It's all part of it.
Okay,
it's all part of, because remember, right now we are in a consultancy stage, so consultants are doing a lot of work. We sit, and remember, I don't work in isolation. I have a team. of GPHA officials who are working with me. And so it's not me always doing everything on KETA projects. There are engineers who are working with me and who I would say are fantastic.
Okay.
Very knowledgeable base. And we are, every day we have something that we have to work on where something comes up that we need to address.
Okay. I'll come to that aspect, some of the criticisms that have come up because and I will ask you because I've heard some of the comments that we have read on WhatsApp or social media, for instance, that you sit in America and the state is paying you. Why so? We'll get that. Let's get to the criticisms later on. But let me now find out the state of the KETA port project. The people want to know at what stage are we now?
We are
because they are not seeing. They are only seeing the signboard, the signpost.
The signboard is to ensure that we don't have encroachers. You know, what we normally find anytime government is about to do major projects, what we normally find is once designation is made or land is secure, you find people encroaching and creating their own settlements per se to make the project very difficult. We put a sign up so that anybody who wants to trespass will know that that particular site has been designated for a port. Now, prior to designation, prior to the executive instrument, pictures were taken, area pictures were taken, documented, so we know who was there, who was not there, for compensation reasons. So that once construction time begins, we will not have people saying, hey, I was here and you are kicking me out. Because we know where we've picked, the pointers we've picked, and as part of the executive instrument, we have 1 or 2 people who might be affected. We want to make sure that not by the time we get there, we don't have thousands of people that we have to deal with. That's why the sign is up. And the sign is also up to give hope. Anytime you lift your eyes and you see it, you have hope and you pray that it comes into fruition. So the youthful people in the Volta Basin also enjoy the benefits of the growth in the country.
So at this point, what would you say we have?
At this point, we have had the inception report. We are waiting for a draft report very soon. We are anticipating a completed report, God willing, everything going the way we want it by February of 2021. Then we will start our engagement with other government agencies. Okay. Remember, we cannot create a port in a vacuum. We will need a highway authority, we will need a railway authority, we will deal with the housing agencies, or EPA and the rest. We need to ensure that all the amenities, facilities that we will need to help the port development, we have spoken with all these agencies so that they will also add into their development planning. Then GPHA will have their white paper and then start doing investor engagements. And we are praying and hoping that all these things could be concluded somewhere May 2021 so that we can have serious investor engagements and hopefully pick somebody to develop a port for us.
Now let's come to some of the criticisms that have come. People have said that why at all did we as a country have a director for a port project that is not inexistent? So we all know the Takoradi port is inexistent. The TEMA port is also already in existence. So why at all did we have a director for a port, which is KETA, that we are all hoping to have, that is not in existence physically, and working ships coming there and all of that, but has a director?
Okay. Well, it's a very good question. And
and it's run for some time now.
Of course, for some time.
Almost a lot of people are still, and I see that questions coming up.
Remember,
a lot.
The port came into existence in 2018. If to be tested about it, once the president signed the executive instrument, the port came into existence, and the executive instrument was signed in 2018. I was not in existence, so the vacuum of not having a director stayed till 2019 when one was appointed. What does it mean to be the lead director for the project? When you engage people in a facility as big that we are envisaging for KETA, as this port of KETA, folks who are going to bring their money in here to help facilitate the development of the port needs to be talking to somebody who within the organizational structure is high enough to be able to be the mouthpiece or the director general. And in our setup, as an official of GPHA, the highest that one could be a mouthpiece for director general is the director position. Of course, the director general can designate a general manager to do something on his behalf, but not something that is going to start from the scratch. All the developments we've seen in the various ports, the ports were there, and then we are adding to it. So the infrastructure system is there. But this is a greenfield. We are starting something new. Nothing is there. So we need to go through a lot of processes, engagements, get ideas together, make sure that what we are doing is the best that we can ask for, considering best practices out there in the world.
And did it require to have a director for a greenfield port, a port that is yet to be built?
But remember, everybody now in GPHA has a job. Everybody that you think could be tapped to do it has a job. So the question is, if you are tapping that person to be paying close attention, day-to-day attention to this project, what then happens to their job? It means that person will not have to do their job.
But could some people have, from the port, have been tasked to do this? Is that what you are referring to? That
yes,
some people could have been tasked to do it, but they were busy.
Of course, somebody could have been tasked to do that. But that person will have to be in a higher level position to be able to engage on behalf of Ghana Ports and Harbours.
When you say higher level, what are you referring to?
We are talking about the GM, Director of Ports level going up. Right?
So the person ought to be taking decisions on behalf of the Port Authority without not regularly, consulting higher authorities.
Exactly. So now if even you have somebody there like that, whom you can assign for this function, remember that person at this point has a job that is required to be performed. And your expectation is that person needs to still do the due diligence needed for this greenfield project on a daily basis.
Okay, if I get you clear, and this is the area that I know you are getting quite a number of messages on this, and I'll share them. This is an area I need clarity. You are saying that, okay, the kind of thing that you are doing, the sort of negotiations, the sort of engagement and the people you're engaging, you need somebody of a stature who can authoritatively conclude or negotiate on behalf of Ghana and the authority.
Yes.
And those people, per the port structure, ought to be either the Director General or any of the directors of the ports.
Yes.
And at the moment, the directors of the ports, they are managing their own ports. That is Director of Takoradi Port, Director of TEMA Port.
Yes.
And then what about the CEO, the Director General? People have said that couldn't the Director General have been doing all these negotiations by himself?
Oh, I mean, that's a good question too. Then I guess we don't need directors of the ports. The Director General can do all the jobs. He can manage TEMA Port and he can manage Takoradi Port.
But the KETA is not in yet. It doesn't have a physical infrastructure
but you see,
yet.
I've just
or
said
the negotiations and all that detail.
That would take away from his function as Director General.
Okay.
That would take away from his function. So, because if you say, oh, KETA Port is, I've just told you 2018 it came into effect. Once the instrument was signed, it came to effect, which means everybody you are engaging is more detailed than just going to 1 hour meeting and walking away.
Okay.
There are documents that, in fact, even selecting a consultant, the documents we had to go through to be able to pick. Remember, once we put the request out there for people to bid for the project, we had about 19 companies, right?
Yeah.
Submitting their proposals.
Yeah.
Now, 19 companies, it's not like chicken change records. You are looking at maybe approximately about 100 to 200 pages. And you are within a timeline that you have to go through all of these documents closely and score them. And we brought a team together to do that. That took us a long time to do that. Now, I sat in there with my engineers, who I have shared with you on top of their game because they've been in the maritime industry for a while, and this terminal construction business for a minute. So they know what you're doing. And with them, as technical minds, working with me through the legal landmines in between all these processes. We're able to score and select Sehon to be our consultants. If you ask DG to do that, it means DG has to take away from his supervisory roles within the Takoradi TEMA
and go and do all these engagements. But is it a proper practice to have a director of in this case a port that is it a practice that you have seen anywhere? Is it legal? Is it best practice?
Best practices.
Okay.
There's nothing illegal about it. Let's get that legal aspect out of it. Once, as I said,
for instance, a public service or civil service act, for instance, agree to the fact that you can appoint directors to non-existent positions.
Okay. See, the word is throwing us off. Non-existent. What is non-existent? I've just shared with you. Once the president issued an executive instrument, Port of KETA exists.
Okay.
And the construction of a port is a process.
And the executive instrument has been issued?
Issued 2018.
I see.
I came in 2019.
Okay.
It's been a whole year, right? So it is in existence. I was appointed to join the process to bring it to fruition. Now, if you ask whether it's the best practices, yes. At least the minimum I know in America, before a Navy ship is built, a commander is appointed. The commander is in place from day one till the boat is finished. And then you ask yourself, why would you have a commander for construction of a boat? Because the commander needs to know what the boat is going to perform and be able to give instructions, direct instructions. And that's why a commander is appointed before the boat is constructed. I believe this is the best way to approach it. You appoint a director who work with technicians from GPHA from day one to ensure that exactly what is in the master plan of GPHA and the purpose of the construction based on the economics that we've seen is what is being developed and nothing else. You cannot construct in vacuum and then bring somebody in. Now, it comes off to explain, oh, but if you had engineers in GPHA, then why come you? After all, you are just a lawyer. You don't know anything. You go to IBM and then you ask the CEO, does the CEO of IBM a computer person who knows how to do programming? Not necessarily so. The person is good enough to bring a collective group of people together for the company to be solid on its grounds. What is important is the individual being able to deliver the vision, the aspirations of the government of the day to ensure that the people of Volta region also get their fair share of development in Ghana. That is what is important. And if that is delivered, and when that is delivered, I do believe the questions being asked will go down. And I do encourage all the questions that are coming in. I think it tells me that the people of Volta region are very much in tune with what this government is doing. They are very interested. They want to make sure they are getting value for money. They want to make sure that the promises given are fulfilled. And I'm hopeful. I'm without any doubt. I believe that this project, and I know that this project, where we are heading to, will be developed by this administration.
Chachuchi Keta Jr. from Kumasi says, I'm in Kumasi, there is nothing like the Buankra port yet. Can you find out if he knows the state? Do you know about that?
It's in process. Something new happened, and I think something will come out very soon, so they should look out for it.
Okay. Uncle Raf from Accra says, please ask Dr. Eduse, why are some of the statements as though he's not sure? It will be, and he puts in quote, will be, example, I will have an office there. We will do feasibility studies. I will call it Ghana Beyond AIDS, etc. So maybe he's getting from your statement as though feasibility is not even done.
Oh, no.
He's probably getting from your statement that you don't have an office there. So what's the state of things?
Okay,
do you have feasibility done? Do you have your office?
Let me help.
Why are you calling it? Is it called Ghana Beyond Aid?
I am calling it Ghana
Beyond Aid.
Looking at the ports that we have in place, we have the Gogispec port, we have the Independence port, And this, I will call it Ghana Beyond Aid, because that is a vision of the government. Now, with regards to office, there is a spot that has been given to us by the MCE. It is our office that we're going to be using. We have a place in the Way Lighthouse that I will be staying in. Once the feasibility people, the consultants get in town, that we are hitting the ground, I will be there with them throughout the whole process. As at this point, my office space is also at the headquarters. That's where I am operating from. But I will have that office permanently once the consultants come to town, and I'll be there with them until they finish the feasibility. So feasibility is ongoing. And as I said, our expectation is, without anything happening again, by February 2021, we should have the reporting.
Uncle Sam from Accra says, does it mean we are likely to have a director for Cape Coast Harbour? Is there Cape Coast Port coming or something like that? Do you know about?
All those fishing landings, ports, and harbours are under Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to appoint
directors for each
those
of them.
ones.
Okay.
It will be subsumed.
So the fishing ports and landing sites are under Ghana Ports.
It's going to come under Ghana Ports and Harbours.
Okay.
Our people are responsible for the construction.
So people, some also still have problems with the title. This one says, okay, the best title, as you perfectly described, will be KETA Port Project Director. So, and then it says the Director of Port is responsible for the operation of the core business of port and not for the realization of the port. What do you think about this? That's what he's asking. And this is
I say
wisdom.
I say potatoes, tomato tomatoes. Whatever will get the work done. That is the most important thing.
So you wouldn't have been bothered if you were called director of the project, KETA Port project, or director of KETA Port.
At the end of the day, all minds have to come on the table so we can get this project done. That's all I'm interested in.
Okay.
The nomenclature of whether director of port, project director port, or director of port director, whatever, that will get the work done. That's most important. I don't think the titles develop anything. I think the titles just a matter of construction within the structures of GPHA. If that is a problem, we can call it what it is, that people will be comfortable with.
The title really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all.
What people, I think, get worried about is that the title probably comes with some entitlement. But does it make any difference if you were called the manager of the project or the director of the project and still get the same entitlement?
Yes. It doesn't make any difference. Remember, it all is based on the structure of GPHA and where you be placed, right? Remember, we have establishment clauses in GPHA. And so based on the establishment clause of GPHA, that's where you be placed. So where you place the individual, that's what commensurates with what the person receives. At this point in time, I'll just share with you, once the instrument was signed in 2018, the port of KETA came into being. And therefore, there is an establishment clause that allows a director of the port to be appointed. But if, because of operation-wise, it's becoming a challenge for understanding purposes, and it has to be, or people believe that I should call myself project director.
Or they can choose what to call you.
Or they can choose whatever they call it. So far as they come and help develop the port. That's all that I'm interested in.
Then to you, I'll come to the fact that to you, what is all these things that we are seeing, the man in the port, and Joe will put it back on the screen. I'll ask you about that too. So this one, Ifia Sapon Kakari from Kumasi says he's doing a great job from his grant. He's doing a great job, great discussion. Please, I'm asking the director when the port will be contracted. That I'm not sure what it means. When the port
constructed.
Constructed.
Okay. Well, as I walked you through it, you have to finish the feasibility studies. You have to engage the government agencies to ensure what is in place. You have to engage investors and then move forward from there. If you ask me, as I sit here, when am I looking at construction, I will tell you we have spoken about it for a minute, but we do not want to put anything out there for somebody to hold us and say, hey, you guys, you said you're going to do it this time. You didn't do it. The engagements takes time. Remember when we started talking about Terminal 3 in TEMA? The contract was signed somewhere in 2012.
Yeah.
But construction started in 2015. And it's in January that we finished the phase 1 of Terminal 3, which tells you even existing ports that was just doing a terminal in addition. Look at the time frame it took for the terminal phase 1 to be completed. How much more a greenfield?
Okay.
So expectation that because I've been appointed, some magic is going to happen.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden, it's not like that.
So it's a good thing that you launched into that, because I have a comment on that. This one says that the government has been in office for 4 years. I'm sure he would want to correct himself. 4 years, or approximately 4 years. And his appointment, we can't see anything to prove his work at all. Since when did you take office? I think I've asked that.
April 2019.
So you started 2019.
2019.
So it's not like you've worked for 4 years.
GPHA has been working on this concept since 2014. Okay, the concept, before even taking it to somebody. GPHA has been working for 2014 to 2017. GPHA has been working on the concept. It took, 3 years. GPHA has been working on the concept. Now, President signed, you take the concept to convince the government to sign an executive instrument. 2017 is when GPHA finished. 2018, government signed executive instrument. 2019, April.
Yeah.
After first quarter is gone, that's when I came into being. And from that point till now, consultants have been engaged and they are working. And there's a lot of processes that goes through before you can pick a consultant. And those who know what I'm talking about knows you have to do all the work, paperwork, take it to PPA, get approvals, and before you can even start engaging. We've done all that. And even with COVID slowing us down, we've managed to get our consultants to engage stakeholders through Zoom and the video telecommunications as we have it. God willing, they are ready to come down very soon. And once they hit the grounds, we believe it will expedite the processes very much. And as I've repeatedly said, hopefully, God willing, February 2021, we will have the report, and then the subsequent engagements that we need to make with other agencies to ensure that we can then take off to engage investors will take place. Now, it does not necessarily mean people have not shown interest. Let me be very clear about that. A lot of people, a lot of companies have shown interest.
In developing that facility?
Exactly. But this is our position. And I think I side with the Director General on this one. How do you engage somebody on a project that is near and dear to you without you knowing the cost of the project? If we don't know how much it's going to cost us to develop what we want, and you bring somebody in, how would you know how much the person is telling you is going to cost?
So what then are you doing to know that? And then
that's what the feasibility is helping us.
It's all about. Okay.
It's going to cost it for us what we want. We know how much it is, so that when we get an investor who is coming in telling you, I'm going to do it, you know exactly what you are getting, so that you don't just run into something because the euphoria is there, you want to build a port. Somebody walks in and tell you, oh, we will build this port for you. It's going to be so beautiful, as maybe the President of America will say. It will be so beautiful that beautiful will be beautiful. Then all of a sudden he comes and tell you a $200 million project is worth $2 billion. How would I know?
So now there's a comment here that's been, and I think that I cited it also in one publication. It says, interestingly, before the appointment of Dr. Alexander Yao Eduse Jr., the GPHA already had 5 port directors, making Dr. Eduse the director of the ports of KETA, the 6th. Is that true?
I don't know about the 5 port directors. I don't know where they are getting this information from. We had an extra 5.
You're saying that it's not true?
We have to, yes, it's not true. We have 2 port directors, myself added to these 3. So I don't know where the 5 is coming from.
The reason from the beginning I said you are very popular. I'm going to play this video coming from the Parliamentary Select Committee folks who came to your outfit the last time. And they all were excited to see you. Quite a number of people are excited. I see the messages here. If I want to read them, we'll finish tomorrow. It tells that a lot of people have eyes on what you're doing. What that means, I'll find out. But let's listen to the Parliamentary Select Committee, the ranking member, for instance, Honorable Amakufibwa, and then his deputy as well, plus the others who came and had a lot of questions for you when it comes to the Port of KETA. Let's listen.
Okay.
The ranking member of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, Emmanuel Amakofibua, and his deputy, Yusuf Suleimana, have re-echoed the significance of the initiative to construct the KETA port and have appreciated the role that has been played by the director of the Port of KETA to see to it that the project comes to fruition.
We make it very clear that's, it will really be to the country's national security interest to have that port going.
I've never read anywhere where somebody suggests that there's not a project that is necessary. We all realize that it's necessary. And of course, the president has every right through an executive instrument to do what he's done.
The acknowledgement follows a briefing by the general manager in charge of marketing and corporate affairs of GPHA, Esther Jebidonko, to the members of the Parliamentary Select Committee during their working visit to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to appraise themselves with developments at the country's ports.
GPHA took the steps to obtain an executive instrument for this from the president. And once that was granted, it opened the gateway for us to organize and plan for the building of a third port in KETA.
The GM for Marketing and Corporate Affairs at GPHA assured that plans to bring the KETA port into being is progressing steadily under the leadership of its director, Dr. Alexander Yaweduse.
He has successfully led the GPHA team to be able to come up with the consultants who are doing the feasibility studies. Currently, the consultants have been chosen. That was done in June 2020. And then they have done the field study. They have provided an inception report for us. Management has discussed and reviewed, led by the director of KETA. And we have made our comments back to the consultant.
She explained the painstaking nature of planning for the development of a strategic national asset like a port in order to position it to serve the country for decades and beyond.
A port building is a massive infrastructure project. It takes time. There's so much to be done as preliminary activities before the port itself is built.
The Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Lugoje, stated GPHA's commitment to ensuring all processes leading up to the construction of a well-positioned KETA port that would serve the desires of the Ghanaian people.
So we made available for this feasibility study our own internal budget from GPHA coffers. That's why probably you didn't hear about it in the budget by the Minister for Finance. And going down into when the feasibility would have been completed, we'll get the report and want to begin actual construction. Certainly, basic facilities will be provided by GPHA.
He, however, stated that after the ongoing feasibility studies have been fully assessed in 2021, the Port Authority would consider all potential financial avenues of investment into the project for success to be achieved.
The good thing, which is encouraging to us, is that even as there's all this PR about the Port of KETA, we are getting quite a number of interests that are expressed, general open interests that are expressed. And we are looking at a situation where we have partners that will move business, that will generate business within the region and ship in and out.
The ranking member of the committee, Emmanuel Amakofibua, called for increased collaboration between the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority and his outfit towards the successful realization of the KETA Ports project.
So that, for example, when there are locations and we realize that nothing has been allocated to the port in KETA, we are able to raise the issues that, but this port, we know that it's stuck here because of this issue and this issue. And there's the need for government to really support this effort for it to move forward.
Okay, so that was the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism that visited your outfit, and it seems that they got some message out.
Yes, I wasn't surprised because we wanted to keep a lot of things bottled in and make sure that we've
got into a certain stage before you publicize and all of that.
I would say this is the first time I have been put myself out there to be interviewed. And I'm glad to be on Iron Port.
Yeah. But so the area of you being director, for instance, for the place, and they not seeing, I think it came up clearly.
Exactly.
It's something, and they ended up understanding that, of course, with facilities of this nature, you definitely need somebody of that caliber to begin to construct.
Of course. I mean, they are the legislative hand of government. I mean, and they have heard, or they have knowledge of KETA Port and the lot of nuances that have come with it and the noises that are out there. And since I have not exposed myself except what is put on newspaper and my picture that has been plastered everywhere, they had never seen me before. So it was, apart from the parliamentarians from KETA who had met me on Hobechocho and other places, they had never seen me before. So I was glad to meet them, and I was also glad to engage with them and give them an opportunity to ask the questions they wanted to ask, and the answers they received from JPH. I think they were very pleased.
Somebody is comparing the Jamestown Fishing Harbour to the port of KETA. At what point did we get feasibility studies for the Jamestown Fishing Harbour, and at what point did we start seeing the projects materialize from there as against what we are seeing with KETA?
Jamestown Fishing Harbour has been the drawing board since the Honorable President Kufuor's period. It's been something long time ago. And it went through the processes. President Mills came, Press Rollins, Mama came, and Nanado came before it started. So it's not something that just started. I mean, I've told you that the concept, GPHA's concept development started from 2014. And that concept is what we took to the presidency to get an executive instrument signed. Now, from that point on, getting to where you could say construction, big construction is going on. I've also given you an example of what happened even in TEMA. When we wanted to do Terminal 3, TEMA Port was in existence, right? And the master plan said we needed Terminal 3. Even with that one, agreement was signed in 2012, but proper construction started in 2015. And phase 1 of that construction was just completed in 2020. The construction alone was a 5-year period. So to assume that something that is supposed to magically come up, that's not how it works. Secondly, even with doing the construction of Terminal 3, the MPS system had a lot of directors who were working on the project. So once construction starts, I might not be the only director. Within the setup, there might be other GPH
other officers, but they may not be called directors.
They might be called directors. There might be other officers who will be working with me beyond the little secretariat that I'm managing now.
Is it then to say that we probably have difficulty understanding why you have that title of director, because we probably don't know the nuances when it comes to the structures of places, institutions.
And I
because every institution and how they call themselves, some call their heads managers, some call their heads directors, some call them director general, some call CEOs. Is it that you did not explain to us what your structure is, for which reason you deserve the title of a director? Because people are clearly worried about the fact that you are called director and you'll be taking the entitlements of a director and all of that. Could that have been made clearer from your appointment?
I don't think so. I mean, what I'm saying here is my appointment has to befit the structure of GPHA.
Yeah.
You couldn't have done anything less than that.
And you think that's exactly...
That's exactly how it's supposed to be done in best practices.
So how do you feel, and as we are ending, how do you feel when you get all these comments on social media? When I know from the few interactions I've had with you, you smile and do all of that. How do you feel when you see, like this one Joe is going to put on the screen, you, some pot like that, and they put you in there and all of that?
Well, you know something? For me, I am excited. And I'll tell you why I'm excited.
Why?
Until these things started blowing up, a lot of people didn't know who I was.
Okay.
So
it's made you popular.
It makes me popular. Secondly, it has exposed the project that we are doing in KETA.
Okay.
It has brought so much interest.
That's the major one.
Yeah. For me, it is a major. So I will take the side jokes. But
it brings a lot of eyeballs and attention to that project.
So that people who are from the area, people who are not from the area, who are interested in national development, who can come in and help us with ideas, who are in the industry, who can come and help us with those ideas, will know that the government of Ghana is interested in developing a port in KETA. And I know there are a lot of people from that basin who are in the industry, who can come and join and share ideas. My office is open to everybody.
So Kofi Seto, who used to be with MESC, says, I really am interested in meeting this man. There's a lot that ought to be done, and I need understanding and clarity. So you are right that it's bringing a lot of attention.
My office is open. I'm willing to listen. Suggestions. In the Akan language, we say, Nyansani baku fotrim. I don't think I'm the connoisseur of all knowledge. I would expect that people will have better ideas to share or better suggestions to share. And when you collect them like that, that's when you put them together to form a better union. And I am comfortable and confident where we are right now, that this project will come to fruition. And I need all hands on deck. And I'm praying and I'm begging. Let me take this opportunity to beg that we should devoid this process of politics. Volta region deserves its fair share of development.
I think the port,
the port will start the development. And I want every Voltarian, whether locally, outside the country watching us, who will hear us later on, to come together to support the development of Volta region. I see this port as the stepping stone of the development of Volta region and its environs. And I do not want us to politicize it.
But they also want to see something on the ground. So when are they seeing that?
The process. It is better to have a better
foundation. For how long can they wait? Somebody is asking.
It is better to have a better foundation than to build your house in a quicksand.
Okay.
If we build on quicksand, we will live to regret.
So this one is asking, let me get the name right. It says, how long does it take from conception to construction, if you can give us a rough idea?
I've given you one. TEMA port existed. We wanted to do Terminal 3. We signed an agreement in 2012. We start construction in 2015.
2016 construction started.
We finished construction first
2019 June.
Yes.
But so that's about 4 years.
4 years.
5 years.
So
we have a feasibility study now. Where can they begin? When can they begin to?
You have feasibility study now. You have to engage with other stakeholders to ensure that you are laying the appropriate amenities to the site, and then engage investors. It is critical that you make sure that all these foundations are solid. Now, if you ask me to guess, I can guess, but I don't think it's right for me to sit here and do that. At an appropriate time, an appropriate calendar will be put out. Once we get our feasibility report in our hands, we can conjecture. And that one we will specifically say is conjecture, because we cannot say for certain when construction will start when you have not had a contract signed for construction.
Clenam says, I met Dr. Eduse at the Hogbechocho Festival, and I wanted to know when exactly I can meet him at the office. I think it is important that he has an office close to us in KETA.
Clenam, I'm coming. You will see me at the municipality soon, sooner than you expected. We'll be there.
Okay. So somebody has described what he thinks is supposed to be your title again. So most of it, the titles that are coming, I understand what you said. Now I understand it. We have 191 messages for you, and I don't know how I can read all of them. But again, it comes down to the point that you made earlier, that maybe the controversy sort of also brings a lot of attention to this. And that also means that there's a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders,
of course,
isn't there?
I have never shrouded my responsibilities at all. I accept it, and I like the challenge. And I enjoy the fact that we have the opportunity to build a sport. And I'm telling you, Sammy, I am praying that everybody prays with me, especially my brothers and sisters from Volta region. This project has to be done to ensure that Volta region gets its fair share of the development projects in this country. It cannot be said better than ever that this is Volta region's time, and we have to feed into the vision, the aspirations, the expectations of this current government and what it wants to do for Volta region. And I am all for it. And I say I take responsibility for any question that comes and all the responses that we have to give. But I'm asking folks to just drop the political tones that come with it, and let's think through the process of how we get there. I'm telling you this, that the youth of Volta region wants jobs, and we are bringing those jobs. And this construction alone will create a lot of jobs for people to do. And after that, there'll be employment. And it's going to be Volta region employment. So why would we not all support it?
Chashuchi KETA says he still hasn't gotten clarity on the Buankra facility as against the KETA port. Are we going to see KETA port anytime soon, Dr. Dusay?
Something I will repeat again. Soon is relative. When you say soon, everybody can define your soon differently. I'm saying that I would prefer KETA port is built on solid foundation rather than a quicksand. So we are not interested in rushing into developing something that is not going to be based on sound data. And we are collecting the necessary data to provide the people in Volta region the necessary port that will bring the its antecedent industries that the region needs.
How different will the port be from the London sites?
Oh, ports are totally different from London. London sites are for artisanal boats and canoes and the rest, and the harbours that are involved in them, the Teshi, the Jamestown harbour, they will have some other facilities, the coast stores and all those things that comes with it. But when you talk about a port, as we know with Takoradi, TEMA type, KETA is going to be the same. It's not one of those. Of course, in KETA, we're going to have another London site there, but that is not a port. I've heard that people are saying because we are doing London sites, we are
Why
not
do
doing
you,
the port.
you probably are not going to do the port?
No. That's apples and oranges. Totally different things.
Okay. And all are coming up at the same time, or some are finishing before others?
Remember, the London site started before KETA port concept paper even came to be.
Okay.
So London sites have been in drawing board a long time ago.
Okay.
So for construction to go ahead right now, it's not surprising to me.
Okay.
Because we've had it long time planned. Feasibilities have been done long time ago. Reports have been given. We are now waiting for our reports. Once we get a report, we move forward. Now, there are questions probably you get people say, oh, I did feasibility some time back. Those were private feasibilities, unsolicited private feasibility that did not feed into the master plan of GPHA. This is feasibility feeding into the master plan of GPHA and the vision and aspirations of the government. So this one, we are looking at everything, not the myopic interest of the private company that did the feasibility. So those are the differences. And we are privy to those.
Somebody is asking, and is it Gershon? Gershon says, did you do feasibility study without engaging the people? Have you been engaging the people?
That's what I just said. That our consultants are engaging people, and we have 35 stakeholders that we've listed. They've done 10. They're ongoing until they come and complete it before we get. We have not finished the feasibility to get a feasibility.
Last week we played one of your engagement with the community on this one. But aside that, have you been having physical engagement with the folks in KETA?
Yes. Yes.
Let me go and pick international news. We'll come back and wrap up.
Thank you.
Has signed an agreement with OSC Marine Group for sales support throughout South Africa. The 2-year deal will enable the supply of pipeline repair products to support service work delivered with local expertise. OSC Marine provides commercial diving and engineering services with respect to information risk management, emergency pipeline repair systems, and hyperbaric welding. Its offices in Cape Town, Durban, Ghana, and Mauritius should get support from all CSS facilities and locations. The International Maritime Organization has been hit by a cyber attack that has taken out a number of its web-based services. Since 30th September 2020, the issue has been affecting IMO's public website and internal intranet services. Reports from the World Maritime News inform that internal and external emails are working as normal, while service has been restored to the Global Integrated Shipping Information System database, IMO docs, and virtual publications. emissions. In other reports, French container shipping giant CMA CGM also confirmed the cyber attack impacting the company's peripheral services. Trafigura, one of the world's largest ship charterers, has proposed that the International Maritime Organization introduces a carbon levy to help boost competitiveness and uptake of alternative fuels. The company is proposing a levy between $250 and $300 per metric ton of carbon dioxide equivalent on shipping fuels. The system would be overseen by the IMO, and it would be adjusted as the competitiveness gap narrows. Trafigura believes the revenue raised from this levy could be partly used to fund further research and development into alternative fuels. DHL Global Forwarding, the air and ocean freight specialist of Deutsche Post DHL Group, has revealed it will be neutralizing the carbon emissions of all less than container load ocean freight shipments from 1st January 2021. They indicate that the carbon dioxide compensation for all LCL shipments would be achieved by using maritime biofuels. The move is set to be in line with Deutsche Post DHL Group's Mission 2050 for zero emissions and with the goal of achieving clean and sustainable sea freight transport. Dutch marine contractor in the offshore oil and gas sector, HARBOUR, wants to become the first carbon-neutral marine contractor in the offshore industry, in line with the national and international emission reduction targets. Plans are being revealed as the international maritime community pushes forward to meet the 50% greenhouse gas reduction target by 2050, with some companies vowing to become climate neutral by then. Seaspan Corporation, a wholly owned subsidiary of Atlas Corporation, is buying two 12,000 TEU container ships for $176 million in cash. The vessels are expected to be financed from additional borrowings as well as cash on hand. The container ships were built in 2018, both of which will operate under long-term charters with undefined global liners.
Okay, welcome back. So as we're wrapping up, Godswill Fiagbe says he wants to know whether we can make KETA port a free port. Is it going to be a free port? What even is a free port?
That's
which is a very major topic on its own.
That is beyond GPHA.
Okay.
That is within the realms of the
government policy.
Government policy that determines that.
Okay. So this one says, Sami kudos, Dr. Alexander Eduse Jr., the very vibrant man. This project is a key agenda of the government and is also a much desired dream of the people of KETA, for which President Akufo-Addo, this government, since its first day in office, trying its best for every region. Hope the people of Volta are much grateful. Muftau from Tamale Central sent that one. This one says, Metro TV, thank you for this educative program and for reading my message. That is Chachu Chikata Jr. from Kumase, your friend who has been asking a lot of questions. Chachu, you're always welcome, and I know that you're an ardent viewer of the program as well. Continue to keep the messages coming. Okay, Doc, so finally, you've given us that picture that with the KETA port, at this stage, you are the planning and development stage, but not the construction, the physical structure construction stage.
Exactly. I mean, let me be clear about that. The processes that it takes to build a port is the planning and development of a port before you start construction. The construction is just brick and mortar. But for you to do the brick and mortar, there's a lot of processes you have to go through and ensure that what you are going to construct is in accordance with your vision and your aspirations.
Which sometimes may be even daunting than when you get to the physical construction stage.
Yes.
Because by then you would have sorted all the nitty-gritties out.
Exactly. Now remember, the Terminal 3 that I keep referring to was already in plans. Remember I said we signed a contract, but it had been planned by GPH a long time before that.
Okay.
So, yes, that process is more daunting than...
We appreciate your time. I'm sure that we'll catch you another time and then find out if you've been able to visit or how frequent you are getting back to the people at KETA and those who want to see your office there as well. We hope that we can get some news for them the next time we have you in the studio.
No problem at all.
And probably the next time too, you may be telling us when you're starting construction.
Well, as I said, I will not be in a position to commit GPHA or myself into a timeline to say this is construction period. We are now in a planning and development stage of the Port of KETA. Construction will come way after we finish this, making sure that we have a solid plateau where we're going to put the construction on.
But hopefully sooner.
Then you bet.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alexander Yao Edusei Jr., the director of the Port of KETA. Now, he's telling me I can choose to call him the director of the KETA Port Project. Or the manager of the KETA Port Project.
What makes you happy so far as
or the project lead of the KETA Port.
So far as the project get done. That's
you don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem.
I will call you the KETA Port official. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you same time next week. The executive producers of the program, Mrs. Ceci Sodobeg and Mrs. Esther J.B. Donko. Thanks a lot to the folks. Joseph is behind there. And then let me see. So Alex Tobias also supported immensely, and William Abekukena. Look, let me mention William Abekukena's name again. William Abekukena. That man is no-go area.
Really?
The guy supports big time. He sacrifices sometimes midnight and all of that. And I have always been skipping him. Today, I say, if he was here closer, I would have poured powder on him. Thank you, Abi, for supporting the program all the time. See you same time next week.